song's called The Bodhi Tree. Let it rain, sunshine. 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 And I'll be on my way when you lose your right to breathe. As I gaze deep into the mirrors of the prophet's eyes, he never seems to turn away. He found all answers lie deeper still, and that'll never bring me down into his kingdom, where the words flow like melodies, and we speak like we know the lowdown. And still I'll be to the Bodhi tree, and the wind will flow right through them, straight out of me. Let it rain, sunshine. Well, I'll be on my way. When you lose your right to breathe. Never feed your belly in the presence of a hungry ghost. Sometimes you gotta lay down the law for all the lawyers who offer nothing rational. You see, they're keeping all their beauty inside. Lies the secrets that unravel once you pay the toll. I knew this from the get-go, and still I'll be to the Bodhi tree, and the wind will flow right through them, straight out of me. Let it rain, sunshine. Then I'll be on my way. When you lose your right to breathe. I kept searching everywhere, but my mind was a veil. It's like putting a straw into the sea. But my mind was a veil. Patience is the ladder to climb the tree. But my mind was a veil. And still I'll be to the Bodhi tree, and the wind will flow right through Jesus. I'll love Buddha, then you, then me. Let it rain a little bit, sunshine. Then I'll be on my way. Oh, when you lose your right to breathe. All this idle gossip is just turning my lights down low. Kissing the bird as it flies through the skies, never stopping with uncertainty. Look at you, look at me. We're tagging along for the ride. We'll be rocky, but the end justifies the means. When you see the bigger picture, see the bigger picture, see the bigger picture, see the bigger picture. And still I'll be to the Bodhi tree, and the wind will flow right through them, straight out of me. Let it rain, sunshine. And I'll be on my way. When you lose your right to breathe, to breathe, to breathe, to breathe, to breathe, to breathe.
Hello, everyone. We're on the deprogramming hour, and you're at home or on watching us. I'm here with Scott Paige, musician.
Hello.
How are you? Oh, you have your own microphone.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Carey.
Nice to meet you, Scott. I want to talk about your guitar.
Sure.
It looks very easy to play. Like the strings are loose, but it's in tune.
Yeah.
It has a great tone, and
it's
then
called a Mini Martin. It's
okay.
a travel guitar, and yeah, it has a nice tone, and it is really easy to play. And I could wear it on my back wherever I go. So it's a travel guitar.
I want to get one too. But
yeah.
What about you have subvert the dominant paradigm and a sort of modified Tao symbol? Do you want to talk about that?
Okay. And a bunch of old stickers that kind of make the guitar look a little strange. Yeah, just one morning I woke up and I was in a sticker kind of mood, and I just slapped a couple of things on. But
is the Tao meaningful to you, and is subvert the Tao meaningful?
Yeah, the Tao, represents duality, and
it has the dark, and the light is within the dark, and the dark is within the light.
That's the constant battle going on. It's like whose side you want to be on, and you get to the point where you just try to see both sides.
Right.
That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
I align with the light, but I see the darkness.
Right. Does music help you at all through that process of processing these dualities?
Yeah,
and to coming
listening
to
to music. Yeah, it does. Most of my original songs are sort of like has metaphysical kind of lyrical content, sing about the Buddha, just stringing the words together.
Oh yeah. What is your Does your inspiration sort of come through you, or something you've read, or something you've experienced?
It's when I get out of the way. The
inspiration.
The way I write is it's not me.
At certain times of day, or
I don't try to write. There's no effort involved.
Through you?
It comes through.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna write, and I write, and it comes through. It's really like that. There's not much tweaking.
Okay.
The first song that I did called Bodhi Tree.
Right.
It's like one long sentence, so like a run-on sentence, and that was written in one. And,
so do you write it longhand rather than maybe record?
Yeah, longhand.
Yeah, okay. And do you write the lyrics first and maybe have the tune in your head at the same time, or?
In that case, the lyrics first, but it could go back and forth.
Yeah.
Usually the lyrics first, and then you fit the melody around the lyric.
Right. So what were your first inspiration? What was this first sort of music that turned you on, and maybe said maybe I actually want to make music?
Well, I came to making music late in life.
Yeah.
Very late in life. As a kid, I loved music, listening to it, but it was never musical.
What type of stuff would you listen to?
First stuff was mostly soul music, Motown, Jackson 5. Then the Beatles came.
What part of the country did you grow up in?
New York.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, New York. And music was like big deal back then.
Yeah.
Everybody was listening to everything, and even the radio stations at the time would play soul to rock, from Zeppelin to Archie Bell and the Drells. Just a nice mix that you don't really see anymore. And then I always wanted to play music, but I never really. Life was doing other things, and I got divorced when I was about 31 years old, and it was like a kind of a quiet period for me, and I decided to learn how to play. The instrument took me about a year to really just have confidence to play some chords where you could even come up with a song.
Right. Were you sort of reassessing your life after the divorce in a way, or?
Well, I had quiet time.
Right. Okay.
And I thought it would be a good outlet, and I gave it a shot. I was serious about it. It's like, okay, this time I'm going to learn how to play.
Okay.
And it's the best thing, in my life now.
Oh yeah.
My life kind of revolves around getting together and playing music or singing and jams, house jams.
You play maybe regularly with other people, or?
Yeah, that's one of my friends here.
Oh, yeah.
I play with him all the time.
What's the instrumentation when you get together?
Mostly guitars, but some percussion, some really great lead players. I'm more of a rrhythm player, so I have some nice leads to go with it. And usually at the jams, we usually do cover songs so everybody can sing along and know the songs.
Right.
And we play a lot in Central Park, Sheep Meadow. That's one of our favorite spots to play.
So Catherine mentioned that you went to India. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Was that recently?
I came back in the end of April. I was there for a few months. I also do Indian music, kirtan music, which is, if you're not familiar with it, it's in Sanskrit, and it's a call and response.
Okay.
It's really powerful music. It's much different from the singer-songwriter.
Kirtan, it's called?
It's called kirtan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it a Q or okay?
Kirtan.
Okay.
And it's basically, it's a chant in Sanskrit, and it's a call and response. You have your musicians and the audience going back and forth. And
so it's between the musician and the audience?
Yeah,
wow.
so you have a connection.
It's interactive.
It's interactive.
An ancient interactive.
Yeah, makes your hair stand up.
Yeah, so it breaks the fourth wall. All these things that were innovations are actually ancient traditions that are rediscovered.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of amazing about things.
Yeah, so India is an incredible place. I really loved it there. I love the music, the people.
Were you able to do this type of music in India?
Yeah, a lot.
Right, okay.
In certain towns, this one town, Tiruvannamalai, in south of India, it was like an every night thing.
Oh, yeah?
Invite 4 people and 400 would show up.
Are they all of a certain caste, or is this a way where different people from different castes can get together?
Well, this particular town, people were going there on sort of a spiritual journey.
Okay.
So this music is part of that.
Right.
So everybody was kind of familiar with that type of music in this particular town.
Because I'm like, there's the spiritual side of like, we're all one, and then I'm in conflict with the caste system that sort of is against that. My knowledge of India and its politics is very rudimentary and
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. But
caste, I mean, in a perfect world, the caste system doesn't make sense.
Right, and karma seems to blame the victim, and I have issues, but
yeah, well, that's their beliefs, not yours.
Yeah, and it's also
it's
dealing with the duality we were speaking about earlier with the Tao and
you see a lot of that.
The dark and the light.
The duality in India is like the contrast
stark.
is very, just the poverty and the changes the country is going through.
Yeah.
But
what kind of changes is it going through? Do you have any?
Well, economically,
right.
What I noticed in some of the towns where people are doing really well, they don't really build walls around it, so it's like you have the worst poverty and this ostentatious luxury side by side. So you can see it, the contrast there.
And don't you think that the idea...
It's the globalization of, telecommunications and the world's becoming homogenized.
Right.
You have that in the cities, but if you go to certain parts in India, it's like still going back in time, 1,000 years. So you have the contrast between that, the new generation from the old generation.
Right.
The song's called It Drives Me to Dream. Takes one to know one. Sooner than later, I will only abide if you allow me to see the spirit that hides inside of me. 'Cause I've known what I've known, I knew it all along. It's hard to express when you question your own authority. Do you know what I mean, girl? It drives me to dream. It takes one to know one. Sooner than later, I can see, I can tell, you've been clearly confused. You don't lose nothing, you got nothing to lose. Hold light in your hand, let it be shown. The fields of existence were open for your eyes to see. Do you know what I see, girl? It drives me to dream. Spirits are calling me out from behind these great walls. What is the message you're sending me? Spirits are calling me out from behind these great walls. What is the message you're sending me? Keep sending me. The flowers that you planted, never take for granted. The rain never fell, the clouds drifted down the wrong stream. It takes one to know one, yeah. so much sooner than later. I will only abide if you allow me to see the spirit that hides inside of me. I will only abide if you allow me to know. Angels are calling in a space cadet glow. I will only abide if you allow me to see the spirit that hides out inside of me. So hold the light in your hand, let it be shown through the fields of existence, or open for your eyes to see. Do you know what I see, girl? It drives me to dream. And it takes one to know one, yeah.
So we've been listening to Scott Paige, musician, and where can we see you around the city? Anywhere?
Occasionally I perform at the Back Fence on Sundays and Mondays, and you'll see me around.
Right, great.
When you see me, you see me.
Okay, great. Thanks. Good night.
All right, good night.
This is Carey. Welcome to the Deprogramming Hour. Tonight we're with Frater Puck, Peter, who is a member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, the OTO, which is probably best known for Aleister Crowley, the legendary, notorious English occultist. He didn't found the organization, but he sort of adopted it and
you could say that, yeah.
Modified it.
He definitely modified it.
Yeah. So he changed it. What would you say to what percentage from when he first...
You mean as far as population?
Oh, interesting.
Or in terms of what? Oh, his percentage of changing it.
Yeah.
That depends on who you ask, of course. There's lots of different answers to that. I would argue that it was changed dramatically. I don't know what percentage I would give, but
right.
It was originally a assortment, a synthesis of many different Masonic traditions, Masonic lineages, initiation series. And he added Thelema. Okay, so that informs all of the initiations. It informs the whole process that is OTO. In a fundamental way, it's changed. You know, there's not swearing on a Bible, they're swearing on the book of the law.
Right. And he found a resonance from what he was already previously with Thelema. He found a harmony with the OTO, do you think? That
I would say so.
Jump as a jumping off point,
sure,
and move further. And Thelema, I know you from your podcast, Thelema Now, which is an internet podcast, which is about the OTO, about Aleister Crowley and the occult, and you interview artists and people somehow related to Crowley or the occult in their, and I think you mainly interview artists. Who have you interviewed?
It's not mainly artists, but
right.
I have an agenda.
Okay.
It's the interesting thing is that it's the podcast presented by the OTO U.S. Grand Lodge. Okay, so it's the official National Grand Lodge podcast of the Ordo Templi Orientis.
Okay.
However, its purpose is outreach. Its purpose is not to necessarily go in depth with Thelema exactly.
Right.
There's podcasts that do that. There's a great podcast, Speech in the Silence. That's an OTO podcast also, and they're much more in depth as far as what a Thelemite, someone who studies Thelema, would want to really dive into.
Right. So you speak of.
We're trying. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
Just to finish my kind of
Sure.
idea is that we have artists, but we also have writers. We
Right.
have all kinds of people because some are very much we're Thelemites. We're into Crowley. We're into magic or whatever.
Right.
And some are interested in ritual, interested in magic. Maybe not necessarily Crowley. Some are not necessarily willing to say or even view themselves as ritualists or magicians, but I do. And I have an agenda where I try to present what I see as someone who, and this is what I think is the core thing, is that if it's an artist and someone's going, this guy doesn't say he's a Thelemite, he doesn't say he's interested in Crowley. In fact, when I ask him a question, he may even say, I'm not really interested in magic or the occult or anything. But he'll say, I don't want to be controlled by a record label, I don't want to be controlled by this or that. Once they start talking like that,
Right.
and they've blazed this individual trail
Right.
and had an impact where other people somehow still find out about them and have this career
Right.
where they are influencing many, many people with what I see as magic. Their work is a ritual. Their work is art and magic.
They're just not calling it that.
They're just not calling it
Right.
that. And I'm the last one, as a Thelemite, to tell anybody what to call anything. So, but it's
But you
obvious,
recognize it
yes,
there
and
very
that's what I
clearly.
want to present. So
Yeah.
that's always what I try to do.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
So
And-
some Thelemites listen to the podcast
Right.
and go, that guy's not a Thelemite. In fact, he
Right.
says he doesn't really like Crowley, and it's like, I don't care, because listen to what he's saying.
Right.
He's blazing his trail, or
Right.
she's blazing her trail.
Right.
And
they're following their
they're following, and,
will.
and we're talking about how when they encountered these obstacles, what they did
Yeah.
about it, and still did their will. So to
Right.
me, that's Thelema.
Right.
So they're a perfect guest then. You know?
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I was going to say about outreach, you said is the program's sort of agenda. And occult, strictly means hidden, and sort of with the internet, kind of like nothing's hidden, or it's harder to be hidden unless we find out there's a cabal off the grid, and we'll find out
Yeah,
later.
and then now they're not hidden.
Right, but but in a way, your podcast and the emphasis of outreach is to come out of hiding in a certain sense. And do some people say no, we want to keep hidden, and we're not about outreach? Or do you have any comments?
You gave me 3 different lines of comments I could give.
Okay, sorry.
Well, no, it's without getting into semantics, but
Right.
You're right. Occult means hidden, and the beauty of it is, even with the internet and secrets, the Masonic secrets have been published for years. Our secrets are published. We don't want that to be the case.
Right.
We've fought to try to not have that be the case, but you can go on the internet and you can find anything. However, as someone who's gone through initiation and also seen other things written down, read them, and then also experienced them, or anyone who's ever had a similar experience like that, it's not the same thing. Reading music isn't listening to music.
Right.
Reading a menu isn't eating the food.
Right.
Reading a ritual isn't necessarily experiencing the ritual. So there's
Right.
a certain part that will always be occult and always hidden. But there are secrets that, we would prefer weren't out there, but the real secrets are incommunicable, and you have to plant that kind of seed within yourself through real life connections to these things. So intellectually you can find out a lot of things, but it works on many different planes.
Right.
So as far as it being, like, even doing a podcast on the internet seems the opposite of being occult or hidden, but the OTO was always a temporal order. It's a Masonic, it's not truly a Masonic order anymore, but its history is that. And those orders, while they had secrets, also had a public face, a public interface with people, and they were part of their communities, and they tried to influence their communities. Some people see conspiracy in that,
Right.
others see being concerned about society in that.
Right.
And the OTO would be in the same vein as that. So it's semi-private, really.
Right.
Obviously, we have a web page We have many web pages. All the lodges and different bodies have web pages. So how hidden is it?
Right.
You know, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Right.
And that's the second rule too. If we were truly, totally hidden,
Right.
I wouldn't be talking to you.
Right.
You wouldn't know about it.
Right.
We blew it the minute you knew about us.
Right.
So, occult has lots of meanings. There are certain things that are hidden in plain sight. There are certain things that even if you've studied for many years, later on you will go like this and go, that's always been there, because there are blinds, there are things you learn, there are things that only your life experience of doing this work lets you see what you thought you saw. Now you see on another level in a different angle.
Definitely.
So things are always being revealed. There's always
Right.
a constant revelation, and so there's always a hidden part.
Right.
And that's really the real, to me, the real meaning of the occult,
Yeah.
is that you're exploring these things that can only be revealed. The veil can only be drawn when you're worthy to draw, you know, for it to be drawn. It can't be sullied. It's impossible to. That's the true occult.